2013. Flappy Bird is the pinnacle of gaming. Everyone is doing the Harlem Shake, and Thrift Shop by Macklemore is the hottest song of the year. In this time of great darkness, one man would deliver us the greatest game of all time. That man was Dean Hall, and that game was the DayZ mod for Arma 2. Dean Hall was a soldier in the New Zealand Army when he came up with the concept of DayZ. He was inspired by an experience he had during jungle training, in which he was badly injured during a survival skills exercise. Hall has gone on to state that what he had endured that day during that exercise directly affected the development of DayZ and the creation of immersion through forcing the player to experience emotion and tension as part of the gameplay. This gameplay was so successful that it would go on to spawn a bajillion knockoffs that all grew into their own niche. I think we can all remember the scourge of these tags that were on every game of the Steam store, which can be attributed to the success of this mod. And while DayZ standalone would come out and improve on the graphics and a lot of the mechanics of the mod, it always felt empty and not nearly as alive as the mod did. And I know that now there's modded servers for the standalone, but these servers still have yet to make me feel the magic of those early days on those modded DayZ servers. For the uninitiated, DayZ started as a very janky mod for Arma 2, which is a military simulation game. In the mod, you spawn on the coast on a giant map known as Chernarus. Chernarus was a post-Soviet hellscape, full of horrors like Orthodox priests, cardiovascular exercise, and the overwhelming sense that you're being watched through someone's sniper rifle. There were key spots on this map to get high-tier loot, such as the coveted and ominous Northwest Airfield. These high-tier loot locations were where so many players had to fight for their lives or subject themselves to another 40 minutes of running straight from the coast all over again. While the DayZ mod offered a new gaming experience, it always felt like something was missing. A way to make an impact on Chernarus. This is something that the mods for the DayZ mod would remedy, more specifically, the Epoch series of mods. The Epoch mod had new guns, vehicles, trading, base building currency, side missions, as well as many other features. Epoch servers were a vastly different experience than vanilla DayZ. Every server was full of lore, including crazy roaming groups of bandits, players building bases on the coast to help fresh spawns, massive webs of alliances and rivalries between groups, and at the center of all of this was the feeling that your actions could make an impact on the server and Chernarus as a whole. The most obvious goal of every group on the server was to build the most bitchin' base close to high tier loot, become the most wealthy and powerful group on the server, and to rule as you saw fit. I can still remember the joys of getting on wipe day after walling off your first building and logging off with a head full of ideas for expansion of your base. The base itself added so much depth to what you did on the game. It gave you something to put all your hard work towards and to fight for. And to see your base grow to include watchtowers, helipads, or successfully defending it against a raid would give you such a sense of immense pride. And if you were me, defending your base was also a source of a new friendship. Being set in a Soviet hellscape led to the overall feeling of despair and decay of DayZ. It always was an eerie sight to come across dead bodies and to know that moments ago there was a fight right where you were standing, and perhaps maybe the victor is still in the area, or even hearing high-tier weapons firing while you have no loot, knowing that one wrong move could send you back to the dreaded coast. The original music tracks did a great job building up the atmosphere for how basic they were. I think these simple tracks don't get the credit they deserve. While most players just turn them off, leaving them on created so much more tension in the gameplay, especially when playing solo. God forbid you find yourself at a high tier loot area in the dark just knowing that someone was looking at you through MVGs like fucking Buffalo Bill or some shit. All the while this godforsaken track's playing behind you. The pacing of DayZ is definitely an acquired taste. Personally, I love it. The quick, chaotic, and unhinged action on the coast, followed by the quiet moments spent alone in the woods running and planning how you're going to take on the next town on your route, all leading up to those intense firefights at a military base or defending an ambush, where you put everything you own and the last hour or more of time you spent running on the line, all in hopes of getting an even cooler gun. Now all these heart-pumping, balls-to-the-wall action moments were juxtaposed to the moments of downtime spent at your base with your friends, as you expand the construction of your base, or as you just spend time organizing gear that you just acquired from one of the many side activities the servers would host. Quiet moments that more times than not were spent talking about what was going on in each other's lives, not even related to DayZ. It was something akin to those moments when you're playing Minecraft late at night and everything just all hits you at once. I might be in the minority here, but these quiet moments added so much more depth to the game. The calm before the storm, if you will. And it gave you time to just mess around with your friends and just talk about life and hang out. The social interaction of DayZ was truly something else. In those early days of the mod, they were full of optimism and teamwork. But that novelty soon wore off and developed into that cancer shoot-on-sight mentality that we know and love DayZ for today. And I'm not going to complain about that shoot-on-sight culture of DayZ nowadays. If anything, that shoot-on-sight, trust-no-one mentality makes those rare moments of interaction between players feel all that more special. In a game where you are nobody,
you're not that guy,
and a single bullet can kill you, these moments of peace felt even more human. A brief moment of humanity and respite before you decide to venture out once more, just to be assaulted by angry Russians and zombies. One fateful day on the server that me and my friends used to frequent, our base kept getting raided by one of the larger groups on the server. And while myself and two of my friends were able to defend our base and inflict heavy casualties on our besiegers, we simply didn't have the manpower or resources to stop them from just recouping their losses and coming back later. Well, just as our luck would have it, there was another group on the server who was about our size and was having the exact same problem. After bitching about it in the global chat for a while, we decided to meet up and try to team up. I remember discussing with my group that we should just kill them when we meet up, because if the countless hours on DayZ taught me anything, it was they're just gonna kill us, so we might as well be the ones to shoot first. And who knows, maybe they'd have the good gear that we needed to defend our base. However, the possibility of actually working together got the better of our curiosity, and we invited them to our base to meet up. These new group members hailed from the ancient and noble nation of Scotland.
You're bud. That's not a bank machine. It's not a bank machine, it's a fence.
Two Glasgow's full of specky bombs, let's find out. Excuse me, mate, is it two Glasgow's full of specky bombs? Off your prick. What?
Just stop the race like Houston.
And by some miracle, neither side shot at each other. And somehow in this Soviet communist hellscape, a new friendship would flourish. For the next few days, we all got to know each other and decided, to hell with being allies, let's just make one big super group. And after that, our group survived and thrived on the server through many wipes, and this group even made its way to other games. These random people on DayZ who answered my in-game plea for help are now very good friends of mine. While life ever churns on and on, I still keep in touch with these weird internet friends. I've even been able to meet them in real life twice, and it was on the second trip that inspired me to make this video. I spent time with my friends getting to get a real look at life in Scotland. We even challenged our frail gamer bodies by climbing Britain's highest point, Ben Nevis. It was atop this mountain that the absurdity of the situation sank in. Here I was, over 3,000 miles away from home, spending 8 hours climbing some fuck-off mountain with two Scotsmen that I met on Chernarus. Friends I made thanks to some mod that could only be described as janky and unpolished. But where this mod may have been lacking in the technical aspect, it punched well above its weight in gameplay. A gameplay that was so deep that it crafted relationships so strong that would allow strangers from across the Atlantic to come together. Gameplay so deep that the friendship that started in 2014 survived the chaotic and winding roads of life. Despite all of us growing up and not gaming as much as we used to anymore, we still keep in touch all the way in 2023, and we plan on staying in touch farther into the future. I think this is a truly beautiful thing that spawned from some shitty server on some janky ass mod for an old ass military sim game. No matter what game I'm obsessed with at the moment, nothing ever comes close to the magic of the DayZ mod and those simpler days of my childhood when life was carefree. I think every gamer out there can think of that one special game from when they were growing up. Games that transcended the medium for you and became more than just some complicated strings of ones and zeros. A part of your childhood and of your story of the person you are today. So if this video does anything, I hope it brings back those memories for you from when times were simpler. I guess what I'm trying to say with this video is that video games are cool and are so much more than just a mindless distraction, but a medium that, just like music or movies, can touch the souls of millions worldwide.